Yeah. So like the name suggests, graphology. Graph is the graph and logy is the science behind the graph.
Right.
So very few institutes teach this, in India. Internationally, it's a very established science in the Europe and, in the US and Canada. There are universities who teach this. Even many countries have this as a part of their intelligence department. If you gift somebody certain color that the person does not like, then he or she will not wear it because it looks, but somebody else will say it's a fantastic color. So there is something which we don't know about ourselves, that is called a blind spot. When we write, the hand is connected to the mind. So what's happening in the mind that comes on the paper and becomes a graph or ECG of the mind. That is the definition of graphology. So there are hundreds of different verticals inside graphology. So you should focus on which one you want to do. We all have a small story around us, which is like the 3 idiots. I wanted to be artist, but I became an engineer.
India's largest graphologist who's been in the industry for over 21 years and is also a personal life coach. Today we have with us Mr. Vinit sir. Hi sir, I
Hi.
welcome you on board to the WitChat Show.
Thank you so much.
Sir, the field that you're in, graphology if I'm not wrong, it's very interesting. So can you please tell us a little bit about how you got into this and what intrigued you to get into this field of study?
Yeah. So it's been 20 years now. I'm into graphology, and it started like everybody starts as a hobby. I was into computer programming and an IT guy basically. And as a hobby, I started it some 25 years back. And 3-4 years I took it as a hobby, not very serious. And then in my regular job, I took a sabbatical. That let me see what else I can do, and that is when this hobby took over. And after that, for the past 20 years now, I have done more than 1 lakh signature analysis on face to face.
Wow, that's a huge number.
Yeah.
So how does the study go? I mean, what is the method of getting into this? If anyone's interested, how do you go about it?
Yeah. So like the name suggests, graphology. Graph is the graph and logy is the science behind the graph.
Right.
So very few institutes teach this, in India, but internationally it's a very established science in the Europe and, in the US and Canada. There are universities who teach this. Even many countries have this as a part of their intelligence department,
Right.
graphology. So I learned from many places, read like thousands of books on this, and then came up with my own version of the Indian graphology, because it's a stream of psychology, and it can't be universal, because as the culture changes, the psychology also changes.
Oh.
So you can't read a German book or a European book on graphology and analyze Indian people.
Okay,
So
is it?
so the culture changes. Like if you do psychology in India, you can't practice anywhere else in the world, because you learn psychology or practice psychology on Indian culture, on Indian minds. So then we developed that for the Indian mindset, and it can be learned now. We have our own institute called the Graphology Research Institute. We have taught more than 5,000 professionals, including psychologists, HR managers, salespeople, coaches, trainers, and things like that. So yes, anybody can learn, and the minimum age required for learning is anyone about 10 years old.
So
Yeah.
anyone above 10
Yes,
can actually
yes,
start
yes,
learning
yes,
this.
absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, sir, what are the deductions that you make, like through graphology? What is it that you can understand about the other person?
Correct. So, I always say that the other way, saying that what we can't do from graphology, that list is very small. So that list we can speak, rather than what we can do. We can do more than 300 things a person can know about himself or herself, which the person was not knowing about your own self. Like if I ask you, wearing yellow today, maybe yellow is your favorite color. But do you know why is yellow your favorite color? No, right?
We never think like that. Yeah.
So if I ask you what is the food with your favorite food, maybe Indian food or Chinese food or South Indian food, we know the favorite food, but we don't know why that is our favorite food. Now that is the unknown blind spot that we have. Like, if you gift somebody certain color that the person does not like, then he or she will not wear it because it looks, but somebody else will say it's a fantastic color. So there is something which we don't know about ourselves, that is called a blind spot, and we identify those blind spots where the real potential is, there. Like the way we don't know why I like this color or why I like this food. Also, I don't know that I need to save money, but I don't know why I'm not saving money. I need
Okay.
to know I need to read a book, but I don't know why I'm not reading it. I know that I should control my temper, but I don't know why I'm not able to do it. I know I should go to the gym, but I don't know why I'm going to the gym. So many things that we know that I should do, this is good for me, but I'm not able to do, and we don't know why we are not going to do. We don't do that. So those root blind spots we get through graphology. So like the doctor has a ECG for the heart.
Right.
The heart is printed on the paper, and we understand looking at the graph, of the ECG, how what is happening in the heart. So similarly, when we write, the hand is connected to the mind. So what's happening in the mind that comes on the paper and becomes a graph or ECG of the mind. That is the definition of graphology.
That's such an absolutely interesting science.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
never think about whys.
Yes.
We just have our deduction as to yes, this is what my brain can perceive, but not
Correct.
the whys behind it.
Correct.
So there are infinite possibilities to understand through graphology.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what was that one, like I'm sure you've been practicing for the last 21 years.
Yeah.
What was that first case or like first client, if I
Yeah.
can say, that was presented to you and you made deductions which were absolutely spot on, or any first case that you remember?
So, from day one, you can't be 100% accurate. It's
Okay.
like any other science. Suppose somebody is learning to become a doctor, they go to college for 5 years, they take a
Right.
medical degree. That does not mean the next day they are an excellent doctor. They have to still practice, practice, practice. So, you can't say one particular day. But when we teach, we guarantee people that after you learn graphology, from next day itself, we have designed the course in such a way, or the whatever I have learned the hard way, we have put it in a format. So immediately the person starts almost at the accuracy of 95% about analysis, and as you go practicing, then you come 100%. So it started with hobby, and initially I was able to say 2 or 3 things about a person, and then the word of mouth increase, and then now this is my full-time job. So if I don't do the analysis correctly, people will not pay me. So because I'm doing it accurate, that's the reason people are paying and using my services. So I'm on many multinational companies now on their panels also, to recruit the right kind of people, or to analyze the CEOs and president and all those people of the company.
So
That
it's
are
also very helpful in the corporate sector for hiring people.
absolutely, absolutely. So there are hundreds of different verticals inside graphology. So you should focus on which one you want to do. There are so many of our students who focus on children only, like people who have special kids or slow learners. If you change the handwriting, the IQ can be increased to certain level. The memory can be increased. The eye dotting or the concentration can be increased. Strategic thinking or discipline can be increased. All those things can be, those change can be brought inside a person just by changing few things in the handwriting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So out of all the various subsections, what happens to be your particular expertise or something that you have a fond likingness for?
Correct, correct. So, like I said, we can work with children for development, then we can work for college kids for aptitude. Like, what is my real aptitude? What I'm really good at. Like,
Okay.
we all have a small story around us, which is like the 3 idiots. I wanted to be artist, but I became an engineer. The same is
Right,
with me
right.
also. I wanted to be in psychology, but I went into engineering. And then I realized this is not my aptitude. So, aptitude can be checked. Couple compatibility can be done. Like, are you getting along with the right person? Will this chemistry work? So it could be between a couple, it could be between partners, it could be between boss and employee. So that can be done. And also, as a good entrepreneur, there are so many businessmen or a business owner. There are certain traits a person needs to run a good business. He should be good in strategy, good in negotiation, he should be good in sales, he should be good in leadership qualities. Now, those qualities also we can analyze, and that is my focus right now. I focus
Okay.
on graphology and business, or graphology and entrepreneurship. So I coach entrepreneurs on how to become a better entrepreneur, so their
Right.
business can grow. And that for that we use graphology as a tool.
So graphology is somewhere helping people expand their business too.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
That's it.
And there's a very interesting research by Harvard actually. Can we predict the success of a CEO through graphology? This is the article written by Harvard School. So and it's available on the internet also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So the literally it's infinite possibilities
Yes.
to it, right?
Yeah.
So apart from these, I've also read that you have had connections with certain cases that have come up in the Bollywood industry.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
very popular ones that would appear on the media from Jia Khan or Sushant Singh Rajput. So how were your experiences without disclosing many details if that's confidential? How is your experience of going about it and how much of it actually came out in the open of what you said and how much of it had actually come out? In the open?
So that is a very sensitive topic, but
Absolutely.
I will tell you about how graphology can add light to these kind of things. See, many times the suicide cases, we don't know whether the person has written the suicide note on his own or is forced to write, that kind of note. So that we can identify through graphology. So it's also a good lie detector test. The content that the person is writing, whether the content he is believing, or is he writing on his own, or is he be told to write. So that authenticity of the content can also be told by graphology, and those kind of things we have done in some cases with suicides, where why did the person commit suicide, that also we can identify. Was it triggered, or was he forced, or he had confidence issues, or he had fear or of something. Those can be interfered through the graphology analysis, and that we do.
So the authenticity of how
Yeah,
much
yeah,
something
yeah,
is
yeah.
true.
So we have predicted many times that this person may commit suicide, and many times the family actually takes nahi ye to theek hai, matlab he is just quiet, he's fine, and then we understand that he actually committed suicide. So we can find out the tendencies, because depression can be seen in handwriting very easily. Yeah,
Okay.
so that we see, and in fact children we can actually immediately spot it, and all the teachers should learn graphology, because all the kids keep writing, and we can identify when a child is maybe withdrawn or not speaking, and we can tell that this child needs some special attention. So that is very, very important.
So do you plan on expanding your school to like particularly pertaining to students or to like other schools, as you mentioned that every teacher should have the knowledge? Do you plan on actually expanding and
Yeah, so we
providing this
have done. A
knowledge?
lot of teachers have learned from us,
Okay.
and we are now approaching different schools where we will conduct the workshop for all the teachers, and the approach will be more towards child psychology. So that we are already doing many places.
So over the years, I'm sure you've dealt with a lot of young kids. What are like the changes in pattern that you must have seen? Is there like any pattern? Because of course we live in a very fast-paced world now. There are a lot of issues that very young children have.
Yeah, yeah. So two very damaging habits that people have at a very young age is attention, attention to detail, or the patience level, that we can see very well in this thing, and also the composedness, like sitting at a place or being very organized. These are the traits which are very, very I can see drastically reducing in this generation actually, because people need a lot of change. Nobody
Right.
can sit at a place for 1 hour. So the students have this problem, and the parents always tell us, my child doesn't sit at a place. He gets distracted easily, he can't focus on one job for long, and those things we can definitely see that. And these are the problems for everybody actually. The whole generation is like that. Everybody, the youth, or even in business owners, when we speak to them, they also say that these days I can't focus much. I get distracted, and because of social media or all those things. So we give them some therapy to adults also, that if you
Okay.
write every day in a particular manner, then it will improve those, so like you can call it's like the yoga. Every day you do, and you get the benefit out of that. So business owners, they need to improve their communication or negotiation skills or ability to handle people. That can be improved by everyday writing in a particular therapeutic way.
So graphology not only provides, it also provides solutions
Solution,
to all the
yes,
problems.
yes.
Oh, that is very interesting. I mean, I never knew with handwriting you can
Correct.
actually analyze so much about a person and also change.
Yeah.
So apart from this, what are your hobbies? Anything that you have any particular interest in?
No, this is everything, because there is It's like a person who plays cricket, you know. I mean, if you have playing cricket full time, you can't have any other hobby actually. Here and there, yeah, but psychology and anything around psychology, we do a lot of research into that also. We are now doing research based on, can we predict some diseases that a person has, you know, which is there in the body developing, but it is not yet
Shown up.
analyzed or caught in any test, but handwriting will show it. You know, like you have a lower backache or you have something related to, you know, obesity, and that can be checked in your handwriting in early step. So those researchers are happening all over the world.
It's in the works
Yeah,
right
it's in the
now.
works. It is works.
So it's a vast field of
Yeah,
study.
yeah,
It's endless. Everything, somebody or the other, something new comes up.
Correct.
It occupies most of
It's
your
it's a
time.
good personality development tool, because many times people do a lot of courses, like I want to improve my communication, I want to build my confidence, you know, I don't know how to do a presentation, all the fears, you know. When we do a course, we get the confidence for some time, and again we go back in our shell, because the signature pulls you back to your old self. So if you change the signature, you know, all these things can be changed completely. You can be a good leader, good communicator, you will be very bold, you will have good communication, confidence, positive thinking, you know, all the fears will go, everything will change if you change the handwriting or the signature.
So great to hear. So I'm definitely going to book an appointment
Sure, definitely.
and tap into my weaknesses and know where I have to
Yes,
make some
yes,
changes.
yes.
But sir, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for providing your valuable knowledge and making time out of your busy schedule for the
Thank you so
WitChat
much.
Show. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
thank you. Pleasure. So if you like this content, and for more content like this, please do like, share and subscribe to the WitChat Show.